Masonic Web. It all began with a death that no one wanted to talk about. In early spring 2024, a man named Daniel Mercer was found dead in a small apartment in Washington, D.C. He was a mid-level data analyst at the Department of Treasury, a quiet man, the kind who never made waves. His cause of death was ruled as suicide. But there was something strange. Mercer had left behind a flash drive taped under his desk. No note, no explanation, just a single drive labeled, the Masonic Web. That's where I come in. My name is Jack Harris. I'm an investigative journalist who's been chasing stories about government corruption and corporate cover-ups for over a decade. But what I found inside that drive was unlike anything I'd ever seen. It wasn't just data, it was a blueprint. The files described a hidden financial network that tied together billionaires, politicians, and media moguls under something called the Grand Convergence Project. Each file had encrypted references to global banks, social media companies, private space ventures, and the same recurring symbol, a pyramid with a single eye. The Masonic Eye. At first, I thought it was a prank, some conspiracy lunatic's dream. But then I saw the names, Donald J. Trump, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy. These weren't random names. They were connected through shell corporations, think tanks, and private investment vehicles, all tracing back to one secretive group registered under a seemingly harmless foundation called the Hiram Initiative. When I dug into the initiative, its board of directors didn't officially exist. No public filings, no tax records. The deeper I went, the more digital footprints started disappearing. Someone was erasing them in real time. 2 weeks later, I got a message. An encrypted email with no sender, no subject, just coordinates and a time. 2 a.m., somewhere in Lower Manhattan. I shouldn't have gone. But curiosity is a curse that always wins. At the address, I found an underground bar, the kind you'd walk past without noticing. The bartender didn't ask what I wanted, he just slid me a note. They already know you're looking. Then, a voice behind me. You're Harris, right? I turned around. A woman stood in the shadows, late 30s, sharp eyes, a nervous energy that screamed she'd been followed. My name's Claire, she said. I worked for Meta's data division. You're in over your head. She slid a small envelope across the table. Inside, a photograph. It was taken in 2018, at a private event in Zurich. The picture showed Elon Musk, Trump, Zuckerberg, and Diddy shaking hands with a man in a dark suit, face blurred, but the ring on his finger was unmistakable, gold, engraved with the same pyramid symbol from the files. That's him, Claire whispered. They call him the architect. For months, I followed the trail. From private jets landing in Geneva at 3 a.m., to secret meetings inside SpaceX's Starbase in Texas. I uncovered encrypted chat logs where the group discussed something called Project Prometheus. At first glance, it looked like a plan to unify global digital currencies under one AI-based network. But beneath the jargon was a darker goal, to control economic behavior through predictive algorithms. They wanted to create a system where every purchase, every loan, every donation could be traced, modeled, and manipulated. It wasn't just about money. It was about power, total control disguised as innovation. The files showed that the network's infrastructure was already live, built into major payment processors and cloud systems. The Masonic Web wasn't coming. It was already here. I confronted Zuckerberg first. I got an interview request approved through Meta's PR office, official, polite, and scheduled for 20 minutes. But the moment I asked about the Hiram Initiative, the entire tone changed. I confronted Zuckerberg first. I got an interview request approved through Meta's PR office, official, polite, and scheduled for 20 minutes. But the moment I asked about the Hiram Initiative, the entire tone changed. He smiled. A strange, practiced smile. I think you've been reading too much Reddit, he said. But there was a flicker in his eyes, a moment of fear, or maybe guilt. When I mentioned Mercer's name, the man who died, Zuckerberg froze. The assistant rushed in, cutting the interview short. The next day, Meta's legal team sent me a cease and desist letter. 2 days later, Claire disappeared. I went to Musk next. He was in Austin, at a private tech summit. I pretended to be a documentary producer and somehow got within talking distance. When I asked him about Project Prometheus, he didn't deny it. He just grinned and said, humanity needs a guiding hand. Chaos doesn't fix itself. Then he looked at me, almost amused. Jack, right? You're the journalist digging around the wrong holes. Be careful. Some systems don't like sunlight. After that meeting, my phone started acting weird. Calls dropped mid-sentence. Files vanished. I even caught someone following me near my apartment in Brooklyn. I uploaded all my research to encrypted cloud drives, multiple backups, and went off-grid for a while. That's when I found the lodge. It was buried in the Virginia countryside, listed as a heritage library. But inside, it was something else, a temple of digital control. Servers hummed behind marble walls, each machine connected to secure fiber lines that ran beneath government property. At the center of the hall stood a bronze statue of Hiram Abiff, the legendary Masonic builder, the same symbol from Mercer's Drive. And there, on a plaque, were the words, "He who controls data, controls destiny." One night, I broke in. I don't know what I expected, maybe to find proof, maybe to destroy it. What I found instead was a live meeting happening on encrypted screens. There they were, Musk, Zuckerberg, Trump, and Diddy, speaking from different locations. The architect's voice came through last, distorted by digital filters. Phase 3 begins next quarter, he said. By 2025, influence integration will be complete. Social behavior is the final barrier. Trump's voice replied, calm and measured. The elections will go as planned. Let the people think it's chaos, that's the point. Zuckerberg nodded. Musk leaned back, smirking. And Diddy? He just whispered, all empires are built on silence. Then the feed went dead. I barely made it out alive that night. Security teams arrived within minutes, and I ran through the woods until sunrise. When I checked my laptop later, all my backups were gone, wiped clean. Every trace of Mercer's data had vanished. Only one thing remained, an email, again with no sender. It said, you were never supposed to see this. But now, you're part of it. Attached was a video, grainy, but unmistakable. A ceremony. Men in dark robes standing around a stone table, chanting in Latin. On that table, a glowing digital sphere pulsing like a heartbeat. In the center stood the architect, raising his hand. Data is the new divinity, he declared. Through it, mankind shall be reborn. That was 3 months ago. Since then, I've been in hiding, writing this account from different safe houses. I sent fragments to foreign journalists, whistleblower groups, anyone who might believe me. But I know the truth now. The Masons never vanished. They just went digital. They don't build cathedrals anymore, they build networks. Their temples are made of code, and their rituals are written in algorithms. And every time you tap your phone, post a photo, or buy something online, you're building their empire, one click at a time. If you're reading this, know one thing. They are not coming for control. They already have it. The only question left is how long it will take before you realize that freedom, in the digital age, is just another illusion. A myth maintained by those who built the Masonic Web.